Hi, I'm Bruce Bochy, and I'm back on base.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Base Show. We're here in San Francisco with Bruce Bochy, and he's returned. And Bruce, I got to say, I was in the clubhouse and had some Leonard Skinner going. So is that for you, or?
Well, you would think it would be because I love Leonard Skinner. I was a Southern rock guy growing up in the South, but that was not me to put it on. And we usually have the starting pitcher put on the type of music that he wants. So maybe it was Dunning. I don't know.
And I know last time I had you on, too, you spoke about your grandson, and you said yesterday he's getting ready for kindergarten, right?
Yeah, just started kindergarten, big day for him, and, I wish I could have been there, but, hey, kindergarten I think is okay to miss, but first grade's probably a bigger one, to be honest. But he's always watching baseball, the Rangers now, so as soon as he gets home from school, he gets ready to watch a ball game.
Yeah, I heard maybe the day's kind of long, though, right? You didn't like the hours.
Wow, I didn't know kindergarten was that long, and they don't nap anymore. I didn't go to kindergarten, I flunked out. I think that was my 2 toughest years of school, but anyway, he goes from like 8 to 3, and so it's a long days. It's hard to keep a 5-year-old focused that long, but he's getting better, my wife said, so hopefully, he'll be one of those guys that, he puts his nose to the grindstone and then learns.
Well, another family member, your son, he's a firefighter for San Francisco, and he's going to be at the game today, right? So that's kind of cool.
It is. I got to go fishing with him a couple of days ago at a Half Moon Bay, and now he's off, so he's bringing some friends to the game, and then he's going to fly back to Nashville. But it's always good to have time with family. It's what it's about. So I was lucky that he was able, spend some time with me on the water and catch some fish and just see him here today.
And I was curious, what are you drinking these days? When you come back to San Francisco, do you have kind of like a celebratory shot or anything like that?
But I'm more into wine here, and been sipping on some really good wine, and so it's been good. I always enjoy going to Napa and doing a little wine tasting, whatever. And there's nothing better than a nice meal, with a glass of wine. So that's my drink of choice here.
And I saw you speaking with Wotus and Crawford out here over the weekend. How do you kind of categorize your experience in San Francisco? You had a different coaching staff. You retired. Now you're back. Is it almost kind of like an ex-wife, or how do you kind of mentally do that?
Well, you always appreciate the players that helped you in your career or helped your team win, things like that. And so that was really cool to get to spend some time with them. Even Barry Bonds, they had their reunion yesterday, and here he calls me out. And that means a lot to me. Hopefully these guys know when I leave, that I was somebody that cared about them, and I always pull for them. Trust me, you're always for your player. And sometimes you have to make some tough decisions, but down deep, I think they all know I cared about them.
And you're a familiar face, obviously, and it's kind of interesting to me for the Rangers. You got Nick Hundley, Chris Young, you got Will Smith is back. Even Max Scherzer, someone who you were used to competing against, is with you now. So it's kind of interesting to have some familiar faces around.
Great to have familiar faces. That had a lot to do with me coming back. I said for me to get back into managing, that'd be the right fit. I didn't know if I'd be back. I was out 3 years, and then when Chris Young, who had pitched for me, as you mentioned, called and flew out, and we spoke for 7 hours. I said, let's go. I missed it, and missed being in the dugout, and it was a little weird being in this dugout at first, but no regrets. I'm having the time of my life.
Is it kind of interesting, though? One thought I had driving in today was you're managing for the Rangers, the team that you knocked out in the World Series, and now you're with them. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm reminded a few times back in Texas, how they weren't too happy with me and the Giants, but no, they're great fans, and for them to get the World Series back-to-back years, it shows how good they were not all that long ago. And but it's funny to see they still have on some walls and stuff pictures of their World Series, and there we are in the background.
Well, one of my final questions, you had your book about walking and favorite routes in the city. So when you come back, are you able to hit up any old routes or any places that you were able to sneak in the busy schedule while you're here?
I don't walk as much as I used to. These birthdays have caught up with me. I got a couple new hips, a new knee, but my big walk was to go down toward the wharf, and I'd love to stop. If it was a day off, I'd stop at Pier 23, get a nice big Dungeness crab and a cold draft, and sit on the water. That was so relaxing. Saturdays, go down to the market, the ferry building. So I did walk down there, but not quite as far as I used to.
Well, last question. I saw you here yesterday. You kind of came up early, not many people around. You're in the dugout kind of looking out the field. Do you kind of reflect and think about the good times? Is it kind of like a private moment for you to get here a little early?
I do, and I think you should. They always hear, don't live in the past, whatever. Yeah, you got to savor the memories that you have, and it's unbelievable. How many great memories I have. Being here for 13 years, the fans, the players, of course, the championships, the celebrations, the parades. I mean, this is a huge part of my life. It's a big piece of my heart, and so it's been good going down memory lane here.
Well, Bruce, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on, and we'll be rooting for you the rest of the way.
I appreciate that. Well, you never know. We might see each other down the road.